We've gotten word that the police out in San Francisco, to be more specific, Santa Clara, where Levi's Stadium is located, might not work the 49ers game as a result of the Colin Kaepernick protest. And Bobby Kimbrough Jr., law enforcement analyst, joins us right now. And, Bobby, what's the scoop on this?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I think that, as you said, it's just speculation. I really believe that, as always, law enforcement will take the high road and we'll work it, because you take an oath to serve and protect in spite of how others may feel about you.
But in this case, if I were a policeman, given the fact that San Francisco has done nothing about him, I mean, you look at the reaction of some other people across the country who have just been appalled by this, and San Francisco has said, well, it doesn't matter, let him do it, it's his right, which it is his right to do that, but I'd be tempted not to work it myself. I might, as an individual, say, well, I think I'm sick that day.
I get that, and I understand it, and as you say, he does have a right to do that. That doesn't mean it's right. It's not something that I would have done. I understand what he did is generating a lot of protest, a lot of buzz, but he has that right because of the country that he lives in, because of the brave. I get it. I understand it. When I say I wouldn't have done it, because having served and worked overseas, not as a vacationer, the flag means a lot to me, coming back from operations and see it waving in the distance. Even though I understand that while America's not what she used to be, not what she will be, and it's a work in progress, it's still my country, 'tis of thee. And I don't think that disrespecting it will create what we need to accomplish. So, and I don't think that the police will stoop to exercising or doing something that will cause distance. I think that as the men and women that serve and protect, they'll do what's right in spite of being disrespected.
It's not just a guy disrespecting the flag or disrespecting the national anthem. It's a guy who's called policemen murderers, Bobby. There's a difference there.
And I get that. But what I've always operated on, and I believe that we'll continue to operate on it, and I hope we do, is that I'm not going to dumb down to what you do. I'm not going to let what you say affect or who I am, or affect how I serve and protect in spite of. And everybody that works in law enforcement is not of the same mindset that, what he thinks about us matters. It may irritate us. It may have irritated a lot of men that have died while serving and protecting. And I just don't believe, I think we're better than that. I do. I think that the men and women that serve and protect are better than that. Well, and we should just ignore his ignorance.
The ultimate insult to police was his pig socks that he was wearing, showing socks that had caricatures of pigs wearing police uniforms on it, that showing he has no respect whatsoever for law enforcement.
Well, he thinks of cops as a pig.
It was an insult to me as well. It was an insult to me having retired. But when I look at him and I understand, what? He has the right to do that because of men and women that serve and protect. And to look at him, that's like looking at somebody and say, what? It's because of men and women that honor the flag. It's because of men and women that serve and keep you safe while people protest. So I look at him as, what? He don't have a clue. And that's just my opinion. So I'm not going to let what he does affect how I serve. I'm not.
Well, the NFL itself should be embarrassed because they refused the Dallas Cowboys' request to have police decals on their helmets for the opening game of the season to honor the 5 policemen who were killed in Dallas. The NFL wouldn't let them, and the NFL itself has become a major embarrassment.
Well, you know what? Now, that I don't understand. I don't understand why they wouldn't allow them to do that. That would have been a very honorable statement to make to the men and women and the families, not just in Dallas, but to the country. Because people want to paint law enforcement as this broad brush that, they're all bad. Law enforcement is an entity, and the people that work in it are individuals. So we can't just say all law enforcement are bad. So I think that the NFL missed a great opportunity to say, what? That's one for them. They missed a great opportunity to stand up for something.
Well, they certainly did. The NFL's become pathetic itself. But Bobby Kimbrough, Jr., law enforcement analyst, do you have a website?
Yes, sir. It's BobbyKimbrough.com, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you,
All right,
Bobby.
thank you, Bobby.